Okay, potential threat. I will just write the question. In chapter 1, we will make a detailed discussion on what are threats, risks, vulnerabilities, and all. So vulnerability is basically a weakness which is yet to be identified by the organization. Whenever an attack is maneuvered towards the organization, they will try to exploit our vulnerabilities. Okay, if we are vulnerable, that means we have a weakness and we don't know that. That is our vulnerability. If we know our weakness, we would have imposed some controls and eliminated the risk or threat. But we just don't know from which angle the attack can be done or maneuvered. That is the reason we are vulnerable. Okay, so the vulnerability assessment is we are assessing whether in our existing information system, there are any weaknesses or not. Why we are doing this vulnerability assessment? We are doing this so that we can achieve our future information system. We are trying to compare our existing system with the projected system, and then after that we do vulnerability assessment. Now how to do vulnerability assessment? We have to explain it in 6 points. First one is we have to make a thorough security assessment of computing environment. Now security assessment means what? Again, the theory that if a business process is going to change, certain threats and risks are going to come. For those threats and risks, we have to impose controls. If we don't impose controls, the attackers are going to exploit those vulnerabilities. So this is what is security assessment. Now what is computing environment? If we just say that we are going to make a security assessment of a personal computer, then if it has antivirus, then security assessment is already done by the antivirus. But we are just not looking at the personal computers, we are also looking at the attached cables, bridges, routers, communication environment. So computing environment includes all these aspects through which the attacker might maneuver an attack on the organization. So that is the reason we are saying thorough security assessment of computing environment. Now how we will do this thorough security assessment? It is given below. First we will see the physical security. Physical security means the doors will be locked and a personnel will be assigned the task of locking the IT rooms. Then system security, the login ID, password, identification and all, that is what is system security. Then personal computers. Again, this system security includes mainframe peripheral computers, not personal computers. And in personal computers, obviously we will have login ID and passwords. After that, we will also see whether the database is secure or not. What kind of database we are talking about? The master database. And then data and voice communication security. Like we are having this meeting. If any other person can tap into this meeting and gather confidential details, then that will mean that the communication environment is not secure. So we are going to ensure that communication environment is also secure along with the computing environment. Then you already know application controls. Yes, we will discuss it in detail in chapter 3. Application controls is basically if you have an application like Tally, ERP or Winman and all. To access these applications, you must have some access controls. That is what will be included in application controls. And then backup and contingency planning. We have already seen this in BCP. So this is how we will conduct security assessment. First we will see the physical security, then system security, then personal computers, then we will go towards database, and then towards application controls. This is how you will do a thorough security assessment. Yes. Now let's see. The second point is improve existing plans by implementing emergency plans wherever required. Now, as we keep on comparing the existing plans with our future system requirements, we will keep on discovering that there are certain weaknesses, there are certain areas which are not yet been covered by our controls. So those areas where controls are not implemented, we will implement emergency plans. Now what is emergency plan? We have already discussed in it, types of plans. We will discuss it again in the end, what is emergency plans. Okay, so here we are trying to cover all the areas and not leave any weaknesses. Then the third point, now all the weaknesses or the areas that we know that we have not yet covered, we will document all these findings and report it to the steering committee. SC is steering committee, that we have done this security assessment. These are the areas which have not yet been covered. These areas are crucial for our future systems environment. Please take corrective actions in this regard. That kind of report will be given to the steering committee. In that report, we will define the scope and extent of planning. Like, we will define the scope as in areas which have to be covered, and in that regard, what actions we have to take, that also we have to define. After that, develop a plan framework within which planning is to be done. See, the framework is basically, again, the model of the future systems environment. Okay, if we are not looking at the future systems environment model, then the planning may go here and there. So that is what they are trying to say, is focus on the future requirements and as per that prepare a framework, and within that framework do your planning. So develop a plan framework within which the planning is to be done. And after the planning, you know whatever software we require for security and for computing environment or communication environment. As per that, we will purchase the recovery planning and maintenance software. RP&M is recovery planning and maintenance software. Now, once we purchase this, if we feel that the security requirements are not being met, so we will analyze it again and again purchase any customization or a whole new software. Okay, so vulnerability assessment is, this is a process that first we are looking at whether there are any weaknesses in our existing system, and then this process finishes with buying a software that will not only eliminate the risks but will also cover all the areas that our future system environment will require. What kind of environment? Computing and communication environment. Yes, any point you want me to repeat again? Oh no, I didn't share the screen. Sorry, I was not sharing the screen. Do you want me to explain the question again? Okay, we'll discuss it again. Okay, so once again, what is vulnerability? Vulnerability is the weakness in our information system that we have not yet discovered, or an attack can be maneuvered by the attacker on the organization using this vulnerability. Now, vulnerability assessment means we will try to eliminate the weakness, or if we can't eliminate the weakness, then we will impose controls that whenever a vulnerability is exploited, we will be aware of that. So vulnerability assessment is basically security assessment. Now, how to do vulnerability assessment? It is defined in these 6 points. First, we will do a thorough security assessment of computing environment. Now, in phases of BCP, we are in the first phase, pre-planning. We are comparing our existing computing environment with projected or future computing environment. Now, if we compare those two, we will understand the differences and what all areas are not yet been covered by our current security system. So now how we will do that? How to do the thorough security assessment? It is given below. First, we will see the physical security, that is locking the doors and assigning a personnel to make sure that the doors are locked. That is what is physical security. If required, we can also hire manpower for physical security. All this will be covered under physical security. Now, system security. System security is basically only authorized personnel must be allowed to access the system. So that is basically identification and password system, security system. And then personal computers. This will be a standalone computer level security. So first physical security, then system security, and then personal computer security. This is the first phase. Second phase is we will try to secure our database. Database means which database we are talking about? We are talking about the master database. After that, data and voice communication security. Now, if we are conducting a meeting and someone else taps into the meeting, then he may gather information which is confidential from the meeting and expose us to the public. So we also need to have communication security. That is why we have data and voice communication security. After that, we have application controls and backup and contingency planning. We know why we need to take a backup, and we know why we need to do a contingency planning. That is basically BCP. Application controls. If we are using any application softwares such as MS Word or Skype, we need to have application controls so that these applications are not misused in the name of the organization. Okay. So remember, at least remember 4 points out of this thorough security assessment. You need not remember all of them. Okay, easy ones are physical security, system security, personal computer security, application control, and backup and contingency planning. This is just your first point, thorough security assessment. Once again, why we are doing security assessment? To eliminate the weaknesses in the system. Now the second point is improving the existing plans by implementing emergency plans wherever required. Now, when we make an assessment, we will come to know the certain areas in which the controls are yet to be implemented, or the areas which have not yet been covered by our existing computing environment. So we will make a list of all those areas and we will implement emergency plans. What is emergency plans? We have already discussed that. So this list of findings, like these areas have not been covered, the organization is vulnerable to such areas, we will report these findings to the steering committee. SC is steering committee, and we will request them that controls must be implemented in these areas and corrective actions must be taken. That is what is given in the third point. After that, in the fourth point, define the scope and extent of planning. We have already defined what areas are to be covered and to what level of security we need. Like in all areas we don't need logical control, application control, access controls. Okay, in some areas we need, in some areas we don't need. So that extent of planning and scope we will define in our report. In the fifth point, we will develop a plan framework within which the planning is to be done. What is plan framework? These are the four borders of our future system environment. We will keep looking, we will stay focused on our future system environment, we will keep thinking about it, and within that framework we will develop our plan. That is basically what is develop a plan framework within which planning is to be done. And then once planning is done, we know what our system requires, we will purchase that software and see whether the software is helping the organization to achieve this objective. Now what kind of software we are talking about? Recovery planning and maintenance software, RP and M. We will keep on analyzing whether the software is helping the organization to achieve the objectives or not. We will keep on analyzing, and if not, we will customize it, use it as per requirement, or again purchase the software. So the vulnerability assessment starts from security assessment and ends with purchase of a specific software to eliminate the weaknesses. Yes, any questions you have in regard to this? Okay, I will just explain this in Hindi for a minute. हमारा जो अभी का एग्जिस्टिंग कंप्यूटिंग एनवायरनमेंट है और हमको जो चाहिए फ्यूचर में, हम उसको कंपेयर करेंगे. कंपेयर करने के बाद हमको जो भी कमियां दिखेंगी, वो कमियों की हम लोग लिस्ट बनाएंगे. वो लिस्ट हम लोग रिपोर्ट करेंगे. वो रिपोर्ट में बताएंगे कि ये एरियाज़ हैं, यहाँ पे कंट्रोल्स चाहिए, कंट्रोल्स लगाओ, एक्शन लो, और फिर कंट्रोल्स लगाने के बाद सॉफ्टवेयर खरीदो. ठीक है, मतलब सॉफ्टवेयर ही खुद कंट्रोल्स है, तो वो सॉफ्टवेयर खरीदने के बाद खत्म हो जाता है प्रोसेस. कौन सा प्रोसेस? वल्नरेबिलिटी असेसमेंट. यस Vidhu, are you able to understand? Yes, fine. We will move on to the next question. Okay, you are supposed to write these 6 points in detail. See, this thorough security assessment, it can be asked as a separate question, like how a security assessment of a computing environment is done. In that case, you have to write these 4 points which are given below, like physical security, system security, personal computers and all. And if they are asking vulnerability assessment, then write these 6 headings. And also note that the questions may not necessarily be for 4 marks or 5 marks. There can be for 6 marks, 7 marks, 8 marks. Anything institute can do. So as per marks, decide your points. Okay, now let's start with the components of BCM process. This is the biggest question of this chapter. Okay, let's start. Management process. First component of BCM process is management process. Now, what does management process mean? We will try to see whether before the question, what we are trying to do in BCM process, we are trying to install BCP and DRP practices into our current business. The current business doesn't have these before. Now we are trying to install it. Now, for installing, we need to have an idea about the organization structure first. We should know whether the people who have knowledge about the BCP and DRP, they are included in the top management, middle management, and the lower management. So that if any query is there, or if the people are not able to understand, they can convey the information to them that how it must be in line with the BCP or DRP. So what we will do is we will nominate a certain person and define his responsibilities in relation to BCP and DRP. If we already know business has different functions like accounting, human resources, finance, marketing. So what we will do is we will approach the function heads, we will give them training, and then we will specify the responsibilities in relation to BCP and DRP. Now, who is this person who we are going to nominate? These are basically senior people who have enough knowledge about the organization. Okay, so we will nominate a senior person. The senior person will give training to the function heads. He will define the responsibilities so that everyone has the knowledge about BCP and DRP. So that is what will be included in the first point, that is organization structure. Nominate and define responsibility. Now, the second point is implementing BCP and maintenance. Now, in the first point, we have given them knowledge, we have given them training. Now, we will start implementing the BCP and maintenance. Now, whatever training we have given to the business functions, now as per this training, we will start implementing BCP. We will appoint a BCM manager who will keep in contact with other business function heads, and we will communicate that we are implementing BCP to all the stakeholders. That is what will be covered in the second point, implementing BCP and maintenance. Again, we will do the training. We will appoint a BCM manager and we will communicate that we are implementing BCP to all the stakeholders. Okay, the first point is only talking about nominating the person. We are not talking about training in the first point. We are talking about training in the second point. Okay, so organization structure is saying that we must nominate a senior person who has considerable knowledge about the organization, and we will define his responsibilities in relation to BCP. In the second point, implementing BCP and maintenance, we are saying this nominated person will give training to the business function heads like marketing, HR, sales, accounting. For training them, also we will appoint a BCM manager who will facilitate coordination, and we will communicate that we are implementing BCM to all the stakeholders. That is what we will include in the second point. Now, third point, activities we have to do in implementation. This is an extension of the second point itself. We are only defining what are the activities in implementation. This can be asked as a separate question. Activities in implementation. First of all, we will define the scope and context. We know the areas where BCP must be implemented, that we will define, and to what extent it shall be implemented. Then we will also define the roles and responsibilities. R and R is roles and responsibilities. So what all we are defining? Scope, context, roles and responsibilities. After that, we have 3 reports in BCP and DRP. First report is BCP. BCP means Business Continuity Plan. Okay, BCP is Business Continuity Plan. After that, BIA. BIA is Business Impact Assessment Report. We have yesterday seen this business impact assessment in phases of BCP. And RAR is Risk Assessment Report. Okay, so these 3 reports, we will prepare these reports in implementation stage, and after we have made this report, we will keep on revising them, reviewing them and updating them. RR is revising, reviewing and updating. You can remember it as RRU. 3 reports: revise, review, update. What are the 3 reports? Business Continuity Plan, Business Impact Assessment Report and Risk Assessment Report. After that, we will try to involve all the stakeholders such as creditors, then debtors, major debtors, then marketing heads and all, so that BCP can be implemented efficiently. Because everyone has the knowledge of BCP, everyone will coordinate, and even if the information is not conveyed to everyone, we at least have a knowledge how to approach that situation. So that is why we are trying to involve all the stakeholders. We have already communicated everything to the stakeholders. Now we are going to involve them in implementation. After involving, we will keep on testing the BCP program on a regular basis, so that if any corrections are required, if we find some areas again at a later stage that have not been covered, we will be able to implement BCM in such areas also. So we will keep on doing testing. After that, we will convert our policies into action. Which policy we are talking about? The BCM policy. How we will implement those BCM policies? Using BCP manuals. That is how we are going to convert our policy into actions. And managing means we are going to make a cost benefit analysis, that we are talking so much about BCP and DRP. If it is not going to stop any losses, then why should we do it? It must have some benefits accruing from it. Only then we are going to bear the cost of BCP or DRP. That is what is we are going to do, cost benefit management. Okay, we are going to manage costs and benefits. Okay, so these were the activities in implementation. Define scope and context, define roles and responsibilities, 3 reports: business continuity plan, business impact assessment report, risk assessment report. We are going to review, revise update these reports again and again. We are going to involve all the stakeholders. We are going to keep on testing this program. We are going to convert our policies into action, and we are going to manage costs and benefits. So these are the tasks that we have to do in implementation. Now, BCM documentation. We are solely talking about documentation here. See, we have already seen these 3 reports. So we will make separate documentation, BCP, BIA and RAR. We will also document, first of all, what is the aim and objective of all functions, so that when we are implementing BCP, it should not be the case that the BCP is not in line with the business function, or the business function is not in line with BCP. Remember the point of methodology, that the both must be integrated and both must work hand in hand. That is why we are also documenting aim and objective of all functions, so that they can integrate efficiently with BCP. Then the third point is activities. We have conducted our training program in the second point. So what we will do is we will keep a record that a training program was conducted, all these activities were done, these were the business heads to whom the training was given, what all was the content of this training program. All that record we will keep. And also we will keep an incident log, that in future if these incidents occur, using our past experience or using our training, we will handle these situations in such a way so that it is a planned response. So we are going to also document what are the activities of each and every function. We already know what are the aim and objectives of each and every function. Now we will also see what are the activities of each and every function. We will also conduct training programs, and we will also maintain an incident log. So all these we are going to document and keep it on record. After this, we will also keep record of the exercise schedules and results. What is exercise schedules? We have seen test plan, okay, mock drills. Those are nothing but exercise schedules. And if we see that certain employees were not behaving in a accepted way during these mock drills, we will take a note of that and include it in the results part, that not all the employees were behaving in the accepted way during these mock drills. So we will have this on record. Exercise schedules or results, which are basically test plans. After that, O&S incident management plan. It is overall and specific incident management plan. Okay. Whenever an incident occurs, we have an action team. The action team will try to control the situation. The action team will be activated on the basis of specific situation. Okay, because for every situation there is a different action team. If there is any hacking problem, we will contact the IT department. If there is any fire problem, we will contact the fire department. In such a way, that is a specific incident management plan. But after the incident is under control, we have to control the overall incident. Like, we must tell the organization what was the loss, what was the impact, and what all activities we have to do, or what all corrections we have to do to control the incident. So overall is organizational level, specific is at that point of time what the action team has to do on the incident. So overall and specific incident management plan. Now the organization is going to have statutory, regulatory and compliance requirements. We have to also keep the record of, we have to maintain the statutory records, we have to maintain the regulatory records and the compliance records. Okay, we are basically talking about audit reports and all the statutory records. We have to maintain them for at least minimum 1 year. It must also include GD of R. What is GD of R? We have discussed this yesterday. It is general definition of requirements. It is in the second phase of BCP, general definition of requirements. Why we are documenting this general definition of requirements? So that we have on record that our future computing and communication environment, what are its requirements? At this stage, we will have that on the record. That is the reason we are documenting it. So once again, what are all the documents? First of all, the aims and objectives of all functions, then the activities of each function, then those 3 reports, then SRC is statutory, regulatory and compliance records. Statutory, regulatory and compliance records. Then the exercise schedules and the incident management plan, overall and specific. Then training program and incident log. And then general definition of requirements. This is the list of all the documents that you need to maintain. Remember these 6 points. This can also come as a separate question. What are the documents to be maintained under BCM? Okay, so in the components of BCM process, the first process was management process, like what the management has to do. Management has to nominate a person. That person is supposed to give training. After training, we are going to communicate to all the stakeholders. Then we are going to implement the BCP. What are the activities? That is a separate question. And what documents we must maintain in the management process? That is also a separate question. But both are included in management process. So a question may either come that what are we are supposed to do in management process. Just write the headings. If they ask activities in implementation, all 10 points you have to write, and BCM documentation, all 6 points you have to write. Actually, there are 9 points. I have tried to club it into 6 points. Yes, any question regarding management process? See, we are just going to club these points. You can remember 3 reports again and again. After that, I have also done SRC. SRC also includes 3 reports, that is statutory report, a regulatory report, compliance reports. So yeah, if you club those points, there are not more than 3 points for each this, like defining. There are 2 points which are talking about defining. So I have clubbed them into defining scope, context, roles and responsibilities. If you read it in that way, it will not only save time but you will also be able to remember them. See, these questions are not that difficult. Just the language is a bit difficult. Yes, any other questions? See, I have reserved the mnemonics and code words for the difficult questions which are going to come at a later stage. Compared to that, this chapter is nothing. Yes, any explanation you want? Okay, this was a very big concept of management process. That is why I'm asking again and again. I had required a considerable time when I was reading it for the first time. Okay, we will continue. Now the remaining processes, they are not very difficult. Information collection process. Now we will collect the information. Okay, we are going to basically make a balance sheet. What are the assets of the organization? What are the liabilities of organization? What are resources are being used by the organization? What are the internal activities, external activities? Okay, this is basically what we gather information in our audit. Now, what further information we are going to collect that we didn't use to collect in audit, that are, we will make a risk assessment. Okay, we will also write down what are the threats. Okay, because why we are talking about threats, because those are the areas where internal control has not yet implemented any controls. Okay, the organization is supposed to have a good internal control system, and if the internal control system is not implementing controls in all the areas, then the system is not a good internal control system. Then the consequences, what can happen if there are no controls in those areas, and what must be the objectives of those controls if they are present and if they are implemented in those areas. So all this information we will collect by conducting audit. Okay, this is something that we are going to do because we are going to collect information for BCP. So these were the points, what all information we have to collect for BCM. Now we also have to collect information of business impact analysis. We have already seen this in the second phase of BCP. Let's see this in detail. Okay. Now, what is business impact analysis? It is a systematic assessment. Okay, SA is systematic assessment of potential impact. PI is potential impact. Now, how potential impact will be caused? By disruption of activities. D is disruption of activities. First, a disaster will occur. It is going to result into losses. We have to make an assessment. Okay, so instead of that flow, we are going reverse. We will make a systematic assessment of potential impact of disruption of activities. That is what is business impact analysis. If you have the definition of business impact analysis now, circle those three terms: systematic assessment, potential impact, and disruption of activities. Okay, there are 5 activities in business impact analysis. We have seen this. Let's read it again. First, we identify the maximum time it requires to resume. Okay, are we talking about recovery? No, we are talking about resumption. Okay, so if a disaster occurs, what will be the maximum time activity will require to resume? That is the first activity. Second point is assess. We have to assess now what will be the minimum level of activity required for its resumption. Okay, so if you want to resume activity, what is the minimum level it has to achieve to actually resume? What it is trying to say is, if you are having a machinery, machines, they require horsepower. They cannot run on normal electricity. So in case of a disaster, if the generators are not working or horsepower level electricity is not available, then the minimum level of capacity is not available, which is the reason we can't resume our operations. So That is what will be the minimum level. So the second point is assess the minimum level of operation required for it to resume. Then the third point is identify critical business processes. Okay, actually these two lines, they are actually 5 points. Okay, just read it in a way. Identify maximum time required for resumption, then assess minimum level required to resume, then identify critical business operation. CBO is critical business operation. Then assess the impact. Now assess the impact of disruption for a longer period of time. Okay, in capital budgeting we have done sensitivity analysis. In same way we are going to assess that if we already know what is the minimum duration required for a operation to resume, so we will see if it exceeds that limit, what can happen. That impact we have to include in business impact analysis. And in the end, we will identify what are the supporting business operations or interdependent activities. These are the 5 points of the business impact analysis. Identify, assess, identify, assess, identify. We are going to identify three things: critical business operations, interdependent activities, and the maximum time required for each activity to resume. And we are going to assess minimum level of activity required and what will be the impact of a disaster. Either club is as identify or assess, or remember these 5 points individually. Further, we have already discussed that in BCM documentation we are supposed to give business impact analysis report. So we are writing here that documentation must be done. And again we are saying identify critical business operation and supporting business operations. Now why we need to do this identification? First we resume critical business operations, then we try to resume the supporting business operations. So first we identify them, and in such a way we resume them later. So this was your second information collection process. Business impact analysis is systematic assessment of potential impact of disruption of activities. Yes, any point you didn't understand? Okay, if you want I can explain the entire process again. If you didn't understand the flow or anything. Okay. This information collection, first try to read this from business impact analysis angle. Okay. First we have to write what is the definition of business impact analysis, that is systematic assessment. In that assessment we are going to assess two things. First one is the minimum level of activity which is required to resume, and then what will be the impact if this disaster lasts for a longer time. Okay, so assessment, we are going to do only two things. Now before assessment, we are going to identify three things. What we are going to identify? The maximum time required for each activity to resume, what are the critical business operations, and what are the interdependent activities. Okay, if we don't do this, if we don't gather this information, we will not be able to do BCP. Okay, we will gather this information, we will document them. Further, we will also gather information about audit. What we gather in audit: assets, resources, internal activities, external activities, threats, risks, consequences, and objectives. Okay. See, these are just points of information that we have to gather. We are going to need this at a later stage. I will just tell this in Hindi for a minute now. जो भी कंपनी का असेट्स है, रिसोर्सेस है, जो कंपनी एक्टिविटीज करती है, जैसे रॉ मटेरियल खरीदना वगैरह, जो भी एक्टिविटीज है A to Z, जैसे हम लोग ABC एनालिसिस में करते हैं, एक्टिविटी बेस्ड कॉस्टिंग में, सब एक्टिविटीज का हम लोग एक लिस्ट बनाएंगे. देखेंगे कि अगर डिजास्टर हो गया तो इस पे कितना इम्पैक्ट पड़ सकता है ये एक्टिविटी पे. वो इंडिविजुअल एक्टिविटी को पकड़ के हम लोग उसका इम्पैक्ट असेसमेंट करेंगे. फिर वो एक्टिविटी को रिकवर होने में या रिज्यूम होने में कितना टाइम लगेगा, और अगर रिज्यूम या रिकवर नहीं हुआ तो उसका क्या इम्पैक्ट होगा. ठीक है, हम उसका असेसमेंट करेंगे. ठीक है, तो पहले क्या करेंगे, आइडेंटिफाई करेंगे कि ये सब एक्टिविटीज है, उससे रिलेटेड ये एक्टिविटीज है, उसको इतना ड्यूरेशन लगेगा रिकवर होने में, अगर नहीं हुआ तो ये लॉस होगा. ठीक है, फिर क्या हो, उसका सिर्फ डॉक्यूमेंटेशन करेंगे, हो गया. यही इंफॉर्मेशन कलेक्शन करना है हमको, और कुछ करना नहीं है. ये हम लोग ऑडिट में भी करते हैं, उससे कुछ बहुत अलग नहीं है. सिर्फ यहाँ पे हम लोग एक्टिविटी वाइज अपना प्रिपरेशन कर रहे हैं कि अगर कुछ डिजास्टर हो गया तो ये एक्टिविटी बंद नहीं होनी चाहिए, कंटिन्यू होनी चाहिए. हम लोग सिर्फ पेन थ्रेशोल्ड यहाँ पे कैलकुलेट कर रहे हैं. यस, डिड यू अंडरस्टैंड नाउ? Okay, take some time, read it again, and then we will discuss it again if you have not understood it. यस, परफेक्ट, वही है पेन थ्रेशोल्ड, वही है. वो हमारा ऑडिट में थ्रेशोल्ड था ना कि इसके ऊपर अगर रिस्क गया तो लगेज रिपोर्ट करना है. वैसे ही ये पेन थ्रेशोल्ड है कि इसके ऊपर अगर इम्पैक्ट गया तो एक्टिविटी बंद हो जाएगा. सो दैट इज बेसिकली व्हाट इज पेन थ्रेशोल्ड. वी हैव सीन दिस पेन थ्रेशोल्ड yesterday in I think third phase of the BCP, that is business impact analysis report. Yes. Okay, let's move on. Now let's see the strategy process. Okay, strategies required means we need to have a strategy that what we are supposed to do in case of a disaster. Okay, just a simple line you have to write that you are supposed to prepare strategies. Then we are supposed to protect and resume critical business operations and supporting business operations. We have to resume them within the time scale of the BCP. If we don't resume them within the time scale, we have already done the business impact analysis that we will start making losses. Okay, how we will resume? We will have an action team in case of a disaster. This action team is nothing but the incident management team. This incident management team will work as per the incident management plan. They will try to control the situation. They will communicate what was the result of the situation. We will try to reduce the impact for future situations by imposing controls in those areas where incident occurred. We will reduce the likelihood. After we have resumed the critical business operations, we will resume our supporting business operations for effectiveness. Okay, so the strategy process is talking about preparing a strategy to resuming the supporting business operations for effectiveness. Okay, just I will explain this in Hindi for a minute. हमको स्ट्रैटेजी बनाना है DCP और DRP करने के लिए. हमारे ऑपरेशंस के दो टाइप है, एक है क्रिटिकल बिजनेस ऑपरेशंस और एक है सपोर्टिंग बिजनेस ऑपरेशंस. अगर वो टाइम स्केल में रिज्यूम नहीं हुए तो हमको लॉस होगा. हम लोग इसीलिए ही स्ट्रैटेजी बना रहे हैं कि पहले क्रिटिकल बिजनेस ऑपरेशन रिज्यूम हो जाए और उसके बाद धीरे धीरे जैसे पॉसिबल है हम लोग सपोर्टिंग बिजनेस ऑपरेशंस भी रिज्यूम करें. अभी कैसे करेंगे रिज्यूम, कैसे करेंगे स्ट्रैटेजी, तो हमारी एक एक्शन टीम रहेगी जो इंसिडेंट होते ही साइट पे जाएगी, कंट्रोल करेगी सिचुएशन, वो किस मतलब कैसे बिहेव करेगी वो सब कहाँ पे दिया है, इंसिडेंट मैनेजमेंट प्लान में दिया है. ये एक्शंस लेना है, ये एक्टिविटीज करना है. एंड करना क्या है, जो हुआ उसका रिकॉर्ड रखना है. और अगर फ्यूचर में ऐसा कुछ हुआ तो वो रिकॉर्ड को यूज करके जो फ्यूचर में होगा उसका इम्पैक्ट कम करना है या उसको पूरा का पूरा एलिमिनेट कर देना है कि वैसा होना ही नहीं चाहिए फ्यूचर. ओके, let me give you an example of strategy process. Okay, don't take it seriously. If you are giving an exam, okay, there are suppose 20 chapters. You know, out of those 20 chapters, 8 chapters are important because they have around 60 to 70 marks weightage, and then the remaining chapters have around 30 to 40 marks weightage. Okay, now suppose if you didn't clear in that exam, you will make a strategy that in future we will give this much weightage or this much importance to that. Okay, you will prepare a strategy. That is what we are doing here. Okay, here we are the action team and we are going to work as per our incident management plan. Okay, that is what this strategy process is talking about. This critical business operations are the subject, the chapters with more weightage, and supporting business operations are chapters with less weightage. Yes, understood the strategy process now. Okay, we have been preparing strategies the moment we had registered for our CA exams. From that moment we have been preparing our strategies. Okay, why I'm asking after each component whether you have understood or not, because each component is important and it can come as a different question. अगर समझ में नहीं आया तो वापस पूछो, मैं वापस एक्सप्लेन करता हूँ. Yes, have you all understood it? Okay. Yes, even if you didn't understand any earlier point, now you can tell me for earlier question or any point today that we have discussed and you have not understood. Okay. For strategy process, remember your exam strategy. For this information collection process, just remember the list of information that we have to gather. Okay, it is just a simple list. After that list, remember business impact analysis. Okay, identify, assess, identify, assess, identify. We are identifying 3 things and we are assessing 2 things. What we are assessing is what will be the impact of disaster, and we are assessing that if we are not able to resume our operations within the minimum time, what can happen. That is what we are going to assess, these 2 things. And what we are going to identify, what is the maximum time required for the activity. First of all, what are critical business operations and what are interdependent activities. Or you can either identify all the activities, divide them into 2 groups, critical, supporting, and you visualize that you have a list of activities. Okay, in front of that you will write type of activity, critical or supporting. Okay, and in front of that you will write maximum time required for resumption. Okay, so it is basically a resumption report, what time it will require. Okay, it will cover all these 3 things of identification. Okay, so identify, 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 assess, assess. Only these 5 points are there in business impact analysis. Okay, this is just a random data they have given so that we can get an idea of what is included in business impact analysis. Okay, there are a lot of points in BIA report. They have just given us 5 points. Okay, so this second point, information collection process. First, remember what is the definition of business impact analysis. Then what are the 3 things we have to identify and what are the 2 things we have to assess. We have to assess what is the minimum level of activity required to resume our operations. If we don't resume the operations within the time scale, what will be the impact on business operations. These are the 2 things we have to assess. What are the 3 things we have to identify? What are the critical business operations? What are the interdependent activities? And what is the maximum time required for each activity to resume. Okay, only this much you have to cover in information collection process, BIA, and the list of other information. For management, see, don't try to link components with each other. Okay, each and every component is entirely different. Okay, it is like ERP modules. Treat these components as a ERP module. You can't have a flow in ERP module. Okay, it is like marketing, then finance. They are both interdependent on each other, but there is no flow in that. Okay, so here each component is different. These are all part of one big thing only, but you will not find the flow, but they are actually working simultaneously with each other. In the management process, what is the management process? We are going to nominate a person. That person is going to give training to the business heads. These business heads are communicate that we are implementing BCP to all the stakeholders. We are going to conduct training, then other activities for implementation. We have seen the list of activities involved in implementation, and then we have already seen what are the documents involved in management process. Okay, even if you delete BCM documentation and activities involved in implementation, then BCM management process only has 2 points: nominating a person and training them. Yes, sir. We will do one thing. Okay, first of all, have you understood this? these three components. If specifically, if any component you have not understood, tell me, we will revise it again. Okay, if typing for you is a bit problematic, then you can turn on your audio and just say yes sir and all. Okay, now let's move on to the fourth point, that is development and implementation process. See, if actually we were trying to have a flow in this question, components of BCM process, strategy process was supposed to be the first point. After strategy, information collection should have been the second point, and then management process should have been the third point. But as I told, there is no flow, each component is different. So that is why for the fourth point is development and implementation process. Now what is development and implementation process? We require two things for implementation. First one is IMP. IMP means Incident Management Plan, and BCP. What is BCP? It is Business Continuity Plan. Now we have discussed till now what are the activities of the action team. Okay. Now these 4 points: confirm, control, communicate, and coordinate. These are basically the activities of incident management team. First, whenever an incident happens, they will arrive on the site. They will confirm what kind of disaster has occurred. They will confirm the situation. Then they will use certain measures to control the situation. If they are able to control the situation, they will communicate to the senior management that the situation is now under control. If they are not able to control it, they will communicate that we are not able to control this situation. Please take more further preventive measures or protective measures. We will communicate this immediately, and this message will be communicated to certain teams accordingly. Okay, so there must be coordination so that this can be communicated in an effective manner. We saw overall and specific incident management plan, right? When this team arrives on the site, that is a specific incident management plan. After this has been communicated to the organization, all the activities that occur after that, that will be the part of overall incident management plan. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is, for development and implementation, you require two things: incident management plan and business continuity plan. In that, there are 5 activities of incident management plan: confirm, control, communicate, coordinate. Further, this incident management plan whenever an incident occurs, they are the action teams that have to arrive on the site first. So that is what we will say the initial phase of treatment of that situation. So we are calling incident management plan as an initial phase. Supported. It must be supported by the top management. If top management doesn't support the team, it will not be able to communicate further with other teams if the situation goes out of control. That is the reason the team must have the support of the top management. Further, the plan must be flexible, feasible, and relevant. If it is not feasible, if we have not done the cost benefit analysis, or if the cost is bit more, we will not have that team. We will directly approach the respective authority instead of having our own different incident management team. It should be flexible, updated, and relevant. What does relevant mean? The team must actually have the capabilities to control the situation. Now, business continuity plan. We have already seen this. We will make a big list of all the activities. We will divide it into critical business operation, supporting business operations. We will try to include more detail about it, how to resume them, how to recover them, how much time is required, what will be the impact if it is not resumed, what is the minimum level of activity required for it to resume. All this will be included in business continuity plan. That is basically business impact analysis report. Now, this recovery that we are talking about, it is actually two tier. Okay, first one is business function level tier and second one is technical tier. Yes, what type of tier we are talking about? First one is business functions, logistic, accounting, HR, marketing, sales, finance. Yes, only these many are there. These are the business functions. How we will recover them? We have already given training to the respective business functions. As per that training, we will conduct recovery. Now technical, IT. IT department has different recovery strategies than the respective business functions because IT requires more protection and more controls than the respective business functions. That is why we have divided our recovery strategies into two tiers, business function and technical tier. Now for business continuity plan, they have only given one point that we require that plan to resume critical business operation and supporting business operation. You don't have to write the entire chapter there. Just write that one or two lines there. Okay, this was all regarding the implementation phase. Now let's look at the plan development phase. Now we have started our development of plan. As we are implementing plan, we will see whether any changes are required. As per that, we will make a list of changes. We will give it to the steering committee. The steering committee will include those changes into the plan. We will do vendor contract negotiations. Okay, we have already discussed that we need to communicate and involve all the stakeholders. So we know what is the minimum duration and the level of activity required to resume business operations. As per that, we have to communicate the data to the vendors so that after a disaster, the vendor may also be in a position to supply us with the requirements immediately. Okay, so this is like pre-authorized transfer. We have already communicated vendor that if something happens, you are supposed to be supporting us in those situations. After that, we already have a recovery team. We will define their roles and responsibilities and we will develop recovery standards. Now what is recovery standards? Okay, let's take an example. If a senior police officer is handling the case, okay, of a riot, okay, he will try to make public announcement. He will try to convey to the people that the situation is under control, that they need not panic, their objectives will be achieved, there is no need to do riots and all. That is what the senior officer may do. And if the situation gets out of hand, he will try to diplomatically solve that and not be prone to attacks from the beginning point itself. But if a new officer if he is assigned this task, he may not have that much experience or may not be able to handle this situation. Okay, So you can understand the difference in standard of work between these two officers. That is what we are talking about here. We develop recovery standards. Okay. The more we work on these procedures, the more we think about it, we will actually develop recovery standards, that when we are trying to recover this business operation, all these records are required, all these requirements have to be met, only then this business operation will be resumed. That is the kind of standard we are trying to develop. Okay, this is altogether very further thinking, developing recovery standards. Yes, that is what is plan development phase. Okay, BCM maintenance is not a part of development and implementation process. It is a part of testing and maintenance process. I think it has shifted to the left. For development and implementation process, remember, for development we require two plans, IMP and BCP. IMP has 5 activities: confirm, control, communicate, coordinate. It is the initial phase. It must be supported by top management. It must be flexible, feasible, relevant. It must be within the budget. We need to have recovery strategies. They are 2-tier: business function level and IT level. And how we are going to do plan development? We already have what all changes are to be required. We will develop recovery standards. We will negotiate with the vendors, and we will define the recovery team's roles and responsibilities. If you want to remember this plan development phase, just write IDVD. Okay, it is a bit difficult to remember this. Okay, for this process you can directly prepare a flow chart, because here only we are dividing things. For plan development phase, write down IDVD. I is implementing changes, or write CDVD, changes, vendor, define, develop. Yes, any problem with the flow of development and implementation process? Okay, the plan development phase part. Yes, yes, I will. Once this is over, I will explain it in 1 minute for in Hindi. Continuity and maintenance. Yes, the continuity part you didn't understand, because we have covered it, the BCP part, yesterday. After this lecture, we will discuss that for an hour. From 10 to 11, we are going to discuss about BCP. There we will cover the BCP part, and maintenance. We will discuss the maintenance part now in testing and maintenance process. It is not a part of development and implementation process. Yes. Okay, I will just tell this once in Hindi. जब भी कोई डिजास्टर होता है, ठीक है, हमारी एक्शन टीम साइट पे पहुंचती है। वो पहले कंफर्म करती है कि हमको जो बताया गया है कि ये डिजास्टर हुआ है वो सच में हुआ है कि नहीं। मतलब इंसिडेंट होता है कि लोग मारामारी कर रहे हैं, ठीक है, लेकिन वहाँ पे जाके देखा तो मारामारी नहीं कर रही थी, वहाँ पे किसी फिल्म की शूटिंग चल रही थी, ठीक है, विदाउट ऑथराइजेशन, या फिर वो लोग ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के नहीं हैं, तो हमारा काम नहीं है, ठीक है। सो वो पहले साइट पे जाएंगे, कंफर्म करेंगे सिचुएशन कि वैसा का वैसा डिजास्टर हुआ है कि नहीं, और अगर हुआ है उनको ऑलरेडी हमने ट्रेनिंग दिया है, वो लगेज कंट्रोल करेंगे सिचुएशन को। और अगर नहीं हुआ कंट्रोल, और टीम को बुलाएंगे। और टीम को कैसे बुलाएंगे, हम लोग सीनियर मैनेजमेंट को रिपोर्ट करेंगे कि भाई हमसे ये सिचुएशन कंट्रोल नहीं हो रहा है, प्लीज़ और हेल्प मंगाओ। ओके, सो दे विल कम्युनिकेट दिस टू दी सीनियर मैनेजमेंट। सीनियर मैनेजमेंट और टीम्स को बुलाएगा, ठीक है, कोऑर्डिनेट करेगा, ठीक है। तो ये 4 एक्टिविटीज़ करेगा कौन, इंसिडेंट मैनेजमेंट टीम करेगा। ये इंसिडेंट मैनेजमेंट टीम को किसने बताया सब करने के लिए, इंसिडेंट मैनेजमेंट प्लान ने बताया, ठीक है। उसके बाद अभी इसके बारे में थोड़ा बात करना है हमको, ये प्लान के बारे में, कि ये इनिशियल फेज है, कभी भी कुछ इंसिडेंट हो गया तो सबसे पहले क्या करना है, कहाँ पे दिया है, इंसिडेंट मैनेजमेंट प्लान में दिया है, ठीक है। उसको कौन सपोर्ट करना चाहिए, टॉप मैनेजमेंट। क्यों सपोर्ट करना चाहिए टॉप मैनेजमेंट, हमने देखा अगर सिचुएशन कंट्रोल के बाहर गया तो क्या बोलता है टीम, और हेल्प मांगो। तो अगर टॉप मैनेजमेंट बोला नहीं करूँगा हेल्प, तुमको जो करना है कर लो, तो क्या फ़ायदा। वो टीम को ज़रूरत है क्या वो कंट्रोल करने की सिचुएशन, ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के लिए सब हो रहा है ना, इसीलिए उसको सपोर्ट चाहिए टॉप मैनेजमेंट का। उसके बाद वो बजट में होना चाहिए, फ्लेक्सिबल होना चाहिए, रेलेवेंट होना चाहिए, और उनमें एक्चुअल कैपेसिटी चाहिए कि वो कोई सिचुएशन कंट्रोल करें। नहीं तो क्या है ना, उनको उनसे सिचुएशन कंट्रोल हो रहा है, बेमतलब का हमको टीम बनाना नहीं है, हमको उनको सैलरी टीम का देना है, ठीक है। ये हो गया इंसिडेंट मैनेजमेंट प्लान। बिजनेस कंटिन्यूटी प्लान हम लोग आज पढ़ेंगे आफ्टर दिस लेक्चर। अभी ये जो स्ट्रैटेजी है रिकवरी करने का, ये रिकवरी कौन कर रहा है, हम लोग बीसीपी को यूज़ करके रिकवरी कर रहे हैं, ठीक है। ये 2 टायर पे, एक फंक्शन लेवल पे और एक आईटी लेवल पे। आईटी लेवल का काम कौन करेंगे, आईटी वाले करेंगे, बिजनेस फंक्शन वाले नहीं करेंगे। बिजनेस फंक्शन का काम कौन करेंगे, उनके रिस्पेक्टिव बिजनेस फंक्शन। मार्केटिंग का मैनेजर अकाउंटिंग फंक्शन नहीं हैंडल कर सकता, वो अपना खुद का फंक्शन ही हैंडल करेगा, इसीलिए हम लोग उसको ट्रेनिंग दे रहे थे मैनेजमेंट प्रोसेस में, ठीक है। क्योंकि हर फंक्शन का नॉलेज उसके फंक्शन ओनर को ज़्यादा रहता है, ठीक है। और फिर ये जो दिया है लास्ट में प्लान डेवलपमेंट फेज, उसमें सिर्फ IDVD याद रख लो, इसमें कुछ फ्लो नहीं है, सिर्फ ये हमको क्या करना है एडिशनल प्लान डेवलपमेंट में वो बताए कि बाबा वेंडर को बोल दो कि डिजास्टर हो गया तो भाई माल जल्दी भेजे, या फिर माल सब का सब एक साथ ना भेजे, थोड़ा थोड़ा भेजे। हम लोग ये उस पर नेगोशिएट करेंगे, और अगर कुछ चेंजेस है तो इम्प्लीमेंट करेंगे, ठीक है। वो जो रिकवरी टीम है, देख, इंसिडेंट वाली टीम अलग, रिकवरी वाली टीम अलग, ठीक है। अब ये रिकवरी टीम वाले के हमको डिफाइन करना है रोल्स एंड रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज, ठीक है। और हम ये जितना ज़्यादा करेंगे हमको ज़्यादा एक्सपीरियंस आएगा, ज़्यादा जैसे एक्सपीरियंस आएगा हम लोग स्टैंडर्ड सेट करेंगे कि ऐसा ही काम होना चाहिए, ठीक है। हम लोग इसको क्या बोलेंगे, डेवलपिंग रिकवरी स्टैंडर्ड्स, ठीक है। ये था प्लान डेवलपमेंट फेज, इसको याद रखना कैसे, IDVD याद रख लो या CDVD, ठीक है। ये बहुत ही रैंडम 4 पॉइंट दिए हैं उन्होंने क्लब करके, इसमें कुछ फ्लो नहीं है। Yes, did you understand in the explanation? Now let's see testing and maintenance process. Okay, now we have implemented BCP, okay, throughout the organization. Now we are going to test it, whether it is functioning properly or not, using testing and maintenance process. Okay, can you do you remember the testing steps? How we do testing? We had discussed it in phases of BCP. Okay, write down in the comment section how many steps you remember out of that initial plan testing. Chat section, sorry. No, not the number. Tell me the steps. What are the steps? Yes. Yes, only. Yes, perfect. All points are covered. Okay, first we will define the test, like why we are taking the test. Then we will identify the teams for whom the test is to be conducted. We will structure the test. We will conduct the test. We will analyze the results of the test. And then we will manage the changes required. Or we will modify the test if required. Okay. Okay, now let's see what is the testing that we're talking about in BCM process. Okay, why I asked this question of testing now, because you might confuse initial plan testing process with the component of BCM process. Okay, two are totally different questions. There is a possibility of confusion here. That is the reason why I asked you this question again. Now let's see why we are doing this testing and maintenance process: to remove flaws in planning and development. Okay, sometimes what happens is you plan a strategy, you implement that strategy, you keep on doing that again and again, but at a later stage you understand what are the flaws. Okay, we will, how we will understand those flaws? We will understand them if we do testing. If we don't do testing, then we will not be able to find those flaws. Okay. Why we are doing this testing and maintenance? So that the BCP that we have implemented, it is working as it is required by the senior management. If it is not working, then the entire process from the starting is of no use for the organization. Okay, we have to give assurance to the senior management that the BCP is working as anticipated. We have already seen this in BCP manual. Okay, we are giving assurance to the senior management that we will recover our business operations even if the disaster occurs. What all actions are to be taken are given in the BCP manuals. Okay. Similar to that, we are doing testing and maintenance process to give further assurance to the senior management that the BCP is working as anticipated in the organization. Okay, so this was the introduction of testing and maintenance process, why we are doing it: to remove flaws and give assurance to the senior management that it is working as anticipated. Now we have already implemented BCM in the organization. Now further, how we can improve the BCP? or BCM. ठीक है? We will conduct group discussions or activities which will install the confidence amongst the personnel of the organization. That what happens is, if you keep telling your employees that if an earthquake happens or the organization is hacked and the doors are not opening, okay, in IT companies the doors are locked as per the identification. Okay, if they find that the identification was compromised, they will not open the door. The person may be trapped inside that IT room for 3 days. This happens in IT companies. Okay, if a person is the last person to leave the organization and if the security procedures were compromised, none of the persons in the IT organization might know that he was the last person in the organization and he was not able to get out of the company. Okay, this can happen. Okay, so we have to make aware, we have to give awareness to all the personnel what to do in such a situations. If that happens, you are not supposed to be frightened. Quickly using your device, send an email to your manager, send an email to the security personnel. If he doesn't respond to email, take preventive measures like call the police, call the respective authority, or directly call the hacking agency. Okay, how we are going to install this confidence? By taking group discussions and talking with the person. Okay, so first point is installing confidence. Okay, now what we will do is we will conduct mock drills. We are going to demonstrate whether they are actually confident or not. Okay, how we are going to demonstrate that? By training or by conducting mock drills. Okay, so just for confidence they have given 2 points. First we will install the confidence and then we will demonstrate the confidence. Okay, after that what all procedures are there in the BCM, we will see whether they are valid or not. Valid or not means, in a certain situation, if a procedure is to be activated, if the procedure is not logical, then we say that it is invalid. Okay, in case of fire incident in the IT company, if a person is trapped because of ID authorization problems, then the doors are supposed to open only for that room. Okay, this is what the procedure is supposed to be. But if the procedure is not valid, that the doors are not supposed to open in case of fire and all, then it is not a valid procedure. Okay, we are going to see this only after testing or conducting mock drills, that whether it is opening or not. And then we are going to verify that whether all are included or not. Okay, otherwise what will happen is, you will find that a discrepancy is there for one department and you will only solve the problem for that one department. Okay, you need to solve the problem for all the departments. So what I'm trying to say is, they must make an overall change and not a specific change. Okay, so validation is talking about time and verification is talking about whether all the activities have been included or not. What is validation? Validation is whether the company is able to recover within time, and verification is whether all the activities have been included or not. Okay, after that we will improve our ability by practicing it again and again. We will conduct awareness programs so that we will have more planned response towards disasters. If we are making any assumptions, we will highlight them, that we are making these assumptions. Something else can happen during the disaster. We are not supposed to worry about them. And how often we are going to do testing, the frequency depends on the needs. Okay, every organization has different likelihood of occurrence of disasters. As per that, they will determine their frequency and conduct testing. Okay, So this is how we are going to improve the BCM capability by doing testing. Okay, first we will install confidence, we will demonstrate confidence, then we will see whether the activities are able to resume or not, whether they are valid or not, then whether all the activities have been included or not in the BCP. Then we will keep practicing it, we will do awareness programs, and we will highlight any assumptions if we have made any in the BCP. Yes, any questions regarding capability? How to improve BCM capability? We are taking a break now for 5 minutes. Okay, I will explain this in Hindi now for a minute. Okay, अभी हम लोग क्यों कर रहे हैं टेस्टिंग? हमको पता है कि कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स आते ही हैं, कितना भी तुम्हारा सिस्टम परफेक्ट हो, कुछ ना कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स आएंगे ही. अगर नहीं भी आएंगे तो हमारे जो कॉम्पिटिटर्स है वो चांस ढूंढते रहते हैं कि प्रॉब्लम्स कैसे कॉज करें. तो हम लोग जब ये बार बार टेस्टिंग करेंगे हमको तब समझ में आएगा कि क्या क्या फ्लॉज है हमारे सिस्टम में, और फिर हम उनको निकालेंगे. ठीक है, तो हमारा जो BCM है अगर वो अच्छा है तो प्रॉब्लम्स जल्दी निकलेंगे टेस्टिंग में. ठीक है, तो हम उसकी कैपेबिलिटी कैसे और इम्प्रूव कर सकते हैं. ठीक है, तो हम लोग सब पर्सोनल को ट्रेनिंग देंगे कि ये सिचुएशन में क्या करना है. उससे इतना ट्रेनिंग कर लेंगे कि उसको एक दिन ऐसे कॉन्फिडेंस आ जाए कि अगर ये हो गया तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, मैं हैंडल कर लूँगा. जब तक उसमें ये कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं आता हम लोग उससे बार बार ट्रेनिंग कराएंगे. ठीक है, हम लोग उसमें पहले इंस्टॉल करेंगे कॉन्फिडेंस, फिर हम लोग उसको एक्चुअली उस सिचुएशन में डाल देंगे मॉक ड्रिल में, ताकि हम लोग देख सके कि वो हैंडल कर पा रहे हैं सिचुएशन, प्रेशर वाला सिचुएशन. ठीक है, फिर हम लोग क्या देखेंगे कि हमने जो BCP लगाया है वो वैलिड है कि नहीं. मतलब अगर डिजास्टर हो गया तो वो प्रोसीजर रिज्यूम हो रहा है कि नहीं एक्चुअली. अगर नहीं हो रहा है तो इनवैलिड है पूरा BCP. ठीक है, ये कहाँ पता चलेगा? टेस्टिंग में पता चलेगा. ठीक है, फिर हम लोग ये भी वेरीफाई करेंगे कि सब एक्टिविटीज़ इंक्लूड किए ही कि नहीं. क्रिटिकल और सपोर्टिंग सबके सब एक्टिविटीज़ इंक्लूड होने चाहिए BCP में. अगर नहीं हुए हैं तो इंक्लूड करना चाहिए. ठीक है, उसके बाद हम लोग बार बार प्रैक्टिस करेंगे. अगर कोई नया बंदा आया है उसको भी अवेयर करेंगे कि ऐसा ऐसा होता है, उसको भी ट्रेनिंग देंगे. कुछ नहीं, बार बार करते रहना है जब तक हमको कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं आ जाता. और फिर हम लोग कुछ अजम्पशंस करते हैं कि बंदा डर जाएगा. अगर बंदा डरता नहीं है तो उसको कुछ बोलने की जरूरत ही नहीं है ना, है कि नहीं. डिजास्टर में अगर बंदा डरता ही नहीं है और सब कुछ करता है तो वो अजम्पशन गलत है. लेकिन अजम्पशन गलत है, हम लोग ये नहीं करते कि नहीं डरे, सब लोग नहीं डरेंगे. ठीक है, तो कुछ अजम्पशंस हम करेंगे लेकिन हम उनको हाईलाइट भी करेंगे. अगर डर लगे तो ये करना, नहीं लगे तो अच्छा है. ठीक है, और जितनी मस्ती है ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को टेस्टिंग कराने की बार 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 बार, क्यों करना है टेस्टिंग बार बार? क्योंकि ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को लगता है कि कुछ भी हो सकता है, हैकिंग एजेंसी कुछ भी कर सकती है, तो वो ज़्यादा टेस्टिंग करेगी. अगर उसको लगता है कि नहीं मेरा डाटा इतना सेंसिटिव नहीं है, कॉन्फिडेंशियल नहीं है, तो वो उतना टेस्टिंग नहीं करेगी खुद का. ठीक है, तो ये 7 पॉइंट जो है, ये 7 पॉइंट यूज करके हम लोग हमारा BCM का जो कैपेबिलिटी है वो और ज़्यादा इंप्रूव करेंगे. कैसे इंप्रूव करेंगे? कॉन्फिडेंस बढ़ाएंगे, बार बार वेरीफाई करेंगे, बार बार देखेंगे कि प्रोसीजर चल रहा है कि नहीं, प्रैक्टिस करेंगे, अवेयरनेस करेंगे, और अजम्पशंस को बार बार हाईलाइट करेंगे ताकि हमको याद रहे सब कुछ. ठीक है, अंडरस्टूड. Okay, we'll take a break for 5 minutes.